when you say George Lucas and he created it. I don't think people give enough full value to what that means. I like to think I do, but I worked with him. So I've seen him create it. I've seen the person that comes up with the lines and the dialogue and understands Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker in a very deep level because those characters are a part of him. And for my part, you know, joining Lucasfilm, I always respected that. I never felt that Star Wars was something that was mine. I felt privileged to be a part of telling the story.
Having seen the screenplay, I immediately had the feeling, yes, there was something of substance there. This is really good in storytelling, and it has a lot of openings for complete fantasy. And I found the dialogues and the constellations of figures in the film quite interesting.
I think Episode 3, at its core, is essentially a Western. It's a cross between a Western and a samurai movie. And when I very first came in and I got the script, that was my first thought, and that's been a very strong reference that John's given us throughout the show.
Yes, there is the Western. It is from the West, as we know it, that particular type of storytelling. But there's also, again, in all of this, there's this very Eastern kind of brushstroke or brushstrokes that go on. So, you know, there is this kind of the Buddha looking for enlightenment and searching and searching and searching and finally settling under the tree and realizing that the search wasn't out there, the search was in here.
They all have vision, and I think it's basically Jon Favreau's vision that guides the whole thing.
The Mandalorian, it's interesting. I mean, we all know the helmet, but the helmet is Boba Fett. And that was a big challenge in the beginning of this. And John and I went round and round like, well, how do we tell the story? And it's not Boba Fett, or is it Boba Fett? You know, but a helmet at the end of the day is a helmet. And I've shown that helmet quite a bit on Rebels and Clone Wars. And so there are fans that get the language of it. But to the average person, if you show them that helmet, if they say anything, they'll say it's Boba Fett. So we immediately started to draw visual, you know, differences between the two characters. Our character is much more bulked up than Boba ever was. His armor is actually quite different if you look at it. His helmet's actually different, little different traits to it. The colors of it, you know, all these things point out at little differences. We wanted to tell a story with somebody where we had kind of more of a blank page to write it.
The show, to me, in the most basic storyline, is about a man who's been following a way of life and has that way of life sort of upended by the introduction of the baby. And it sort of changes his life, and I think he's reevaluating his priorities and what means something to him in his life in the world. So I think it's really sort of about a man discovering something about himself that he had never known until he met the child.
Really, for me, I felt with the pilot, my job was to show this guy as he is, a hardened, kind of weather-beaten person that, you know, has been through things we can't imagine and is just doing a job. And his job is hunting down beings. The consequences of that, the morality of it, I get paid. The pilot slowly chips away at that idea, especially when he meets the Ugnaught. And this little, you know, being is suddenly helping him and then challenging him. And I think it starts to make the gears in Mando's head wonder, what am I doing here and where is my line? What I've lost this idea of, you know, being a mercenary or being a person.
This new technology brings filmmaking back where it has been and where it should be. You can pick up a camera on your shoulder and do some sort of a choreography between your actors, and the parallaxes of the background will be organized. You see the set, and the actors see the set, and they sense it and they feel it. And this is fantastic. Filmmaking back where it should be.
In this case, since there's real things on the set, we have real cameras and real people. And now instead of having a green screen that you have to move around in light, which took forever, and that was really the frustration that led to these innovations, which is how could we do that without green screens next time? And so that led to you have a green a green stage, you have pre-lit green areas that you could expose, and then it turned into these video walls where you could have green just behind the actor, and then interactive light, which we used on Jungle Book also for shadows and things on the characters.
We wouldn't be able to do this show without Dave Filoni. I think he is the truest lover of the material. We can all try to compete to his level of love, is just the best word for it, for the world of Star Wars. And we would all lose against him.
I mean, I just think the key is you hire good people. You can get caught up in what their talents are. I mean, obviously, to have done the work that they've all done, they're all really talented. But the big difference is what kind of person are you? And they're all just really wonderful people that are easy to get along with, easy to work with. We all get in a room, and I think because this is so new to many of us, that we all kind of get together on it, and it becomes a real team thing.